Bobby, wale fídíò kan ni mo gbọ́ nísìn. Fídíò ilé Ọlọ́run. Àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó yẹ kéèyàn máa gbọ́ lẹ́nu leader. Kì í ṣe pé ká máa purọ́, ká máa sọ èké, ká máa sọ sugar coated mouth. Ìgbà tí Jagaban ó sọ, wọ́n ní tí àwọn bá di president, wọ́n lẹ́ẹ̀rí sanwó ná mọ́ lórí irọ́. Táwọn bá di gbá, ní ṣe gbá mọ́. Jẹ́ mọ́ jẹ́ kan tán yìí. Wọ́n ní táwọn bá di president, ní sanwó ná mọ́. Ọmọ àǹtí mi ọjẹ́ mọ́ tán rẹ̀. Ọjẹ́ mọ́ tán rẹ̀. Ọjẹ́ mọ́ dúró fún sugar coated mouth. Okay, gbogbo owó tí àwọn Nigeria government ń yá láti jọ ẹ̀. Kí ni wọ́n fi ṣe láàrin èmi àti ìwọ tó ń wò mí? Kí ni wọ́n fowó yẹn ṣe? Láàrin èmi àti ẹ, owó tí wọ́n yá kí ni wọ́n fi ṣe? Kí ni wọ́n fi ń rà? Kí ni wọ́n fi ń gbìn? Wọ́n kò fáwọn àwọn ọ̀daràn. Bọ́n ṣe ń yáwó tó náà, wọ́n tún pín. Ṣé bó àwọn nǹkan níbi tẹ́ bá gbámọ̀ ládé lẹ́jọ́dé. Ẹ máa kó àwọn èèyàn síbi iṣẹ́ tí ò ní sówó ń bẹ̀. Ẹnìkan máa ṣe gbogbo resources tó yẹ kó nítumọ̀ tán ẹ kó wọn síta. Àwọn owó tó yẹ kẹ́ fi dá business kalẹ̀ sí Nàìjíríà ẹ mú ẹ kówó yẹn sínú báírì. Ẹ wele tí wọ́n rí ní ilẹ̀ Haúsá níjó ní ẹwẹ́ tàbí nǹkan bí wẹ́tẹ̀kẹ́ nìkan ní ilẹ̀ Haúsá sá tí ẹ rí tí wọ́n dídí orí owó nínú kọ̀ńténà ńlá odidi ilé tó dẹ̀ kú bẹ́ẹ̀ bámú tó dẹ̀ ti bàjẹ́. Tádíyẹ̀sì tó lọ gbé wọn. Tálẹ́ tó lọ arrest àwọn eléyìí. Wọ́n wá máa jáde wọ́n máa sọ fún yín pé tí táwọn bá ti di president kan àwọn ní gba Yorùbá ní sanwó ná mọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ mọ́ jẹ́ kan tán yìí. Kò sí nǹkan kan tán fẹ́ ṣe. Everything lórí irọ́ ni. Ẹ má jẹ́ kan dánú fún yín. Ẹ má dìbò fẹ́ ní bọ̀dì. Ṣùgbọ́n àìkúrọ̀ o. Èmi kàn ní kí n mú fídíò ìwá torí pé ara wọn náà nìtàn láwọn ń di kíní. Ṣùgbọ́n òun sọ ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ pé kí lẹ̀ ń yáwó fún èmi kọ́ mo sọ o. Bá farabalẹ̀ wò fídíò yìí dákun wò kó o gbọ́ látẹnu wọn èmi kọ́ ò torí ìsìnlẹ̀ ẹ̀mọ̀ràn jùmọ̀ mi. Ẹ má bú mi o. Ẹ má bú mi o. Ẹ má bú ya yín. Wọ́n náà wo fídíò náà.
Let us remain consistent. We're dealing with issues that are very important. We're dealing with the future of our children. It is important. We have borrowed so much in the past. What did we use it for? It's very easy to audit what it was used for. And then this one we're going to borrow, can we show in empirically verifiable, this is what we're going to use it for? And who are those who are technically savvy that are borrowing this money and applying it judiciously? Women have been in government where people just come from nowhere, tell you, you must borrow for this, borrow for that. Listen, where are we going to borrow money? We don't need to borrow money. We have areas we can cut, and we don't need to borrow. And I say to anybody, I was in government for 8 years. We never asked anybody for a loan for one day. Not because we have, because we could look, whenever there's need to borrow, we first look inward and said, if we cut this and cut this and cut this and cut this, we don't need to borrow this money. And I believe there's areas where you can still do that and areas where investing. Is it that we are borrowing money and throwing in education? So we can see that schools have improved and changed and everything. Is it that we're borrowing money and put it in health so that our hospitals and everything and all that have improved? Is it that we're borrowing money and putting it on the so-called infrastructure? Where are the bridges? Where are the roads? Where are these that are completed that we can say we borrow this? Ruben, let me give you an example. We've just done from 10 trillion to 25 trillion. Added 15. Nationally, whether I like it or not. Just Ibadan, Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, which they've been building since, God knows, since I was in university. All they need is 200 billion.
Okay, so let me ask.
So from this borrowing, just 200 billion thrown into that thing, since then, it would have completed it.
Would you then say that, for example, if we're looking at ways to cut down on certain budgets that shouldn't exist, would you comment or would you like to comment on the $100 million that's been budgeted for the renovation of the National Assembly? In the
37 billion.
37 billion naira is $100 million. $100 million budgeted for the renovation of the National Assembly.
Well, let me tell you, there's so many places to cut. It's not just that. I tell you, I've served, so I have an idea. And the waste is unacceptable. The cost of governance in Nigeria cannot be compared to anywhere. I've talked about governors, I've talked about presidents, I've talked about local government chairmen and everything. I've said it in this, that it is unacceptable. The biggest, it will probably cost more to keep me as a governor than it will cost to keep Boris Johnson as Prime Minister of Britain. And I can tell you, because if anybody in the UK sees Boris Johnson moving with 5 vehicles, he won't be in office the next day. I can tell you.
Walk down the road with his dog.
No. I said he will not be in the office the next day with that level of convoy. Talk less of this thing. If you eat in White House,
you pay.
On 10 Downing Street, if you invite somebody, a guest,
you pay
to come for dinner, at the end of the month they'll give you the bill.
Anyway,
in Anambra State, I can bring my entire village. They'll be eating. Nobody cares.
Yes, they are share of the national cake. But I mean, all morning you've been referring to education. You know, although I was going to draw your attention to the fact that in the budget proposal for 2020, education is actually number 3 on the list. After defense, and then power, works and housing, and then you have education. But I know you are very passionate about education, given your record in Anambra State. And only a week ago, you met with the Pope to work with, a foundation set up by the Vatican to promote education.
Not by the Vatican.
Okay, but what are the details? You want to share that with us?
It is the Pope personal foundation.
Oh, it's the Pope himself.
Personal foundation, which is started.
Occurrentis Foundation? Scholar Occurrentis.
This is what it started as when he was Cardinal and Bishop of Buenos Aires in Argentina. From empirical studies, he found out that to develop and have peace, you need to invest in education and sports. That is not far-fetched. It's only when we engage in sports here that we stay as a nation. So they found that out, and that's what they've used in South America to keep South America, whether it's Brazil, whether it's this and all that, peaceful, sports, and they invest in education. Ruben, the reason why we're having multiplicity of problems we're having today is that we did not invest in education yesterday. That is why South Korea, China, everybody, that we are lagging behind Nigeria. But took us economically and are doing better because they've invested in education. We're in a knowledge economy. It's a very simple thing. The more knowledge you can create in terms of revenue and everything, it's very simple. I've said it wherever it is possible. It is no longer a baggage economy time when you're dependent on oil. Ruben, in 2018, we earned from oil $18 billion. That's what we earned in oil in 2018. This year, maybe we earn about 20. Facebook, that just started a few days ago. Facebook, third quarter revenue, just third quarter. So, which is not, listen, it's more than that. What they had in 3 months, revenue in 3 months. In December 2018, their revenue was $55 billion. So the all Nigeria shared and got from oil is not up to a third of what Facebook made.
But
so all those things, you need to invest in education.
No,
it is critical.
Principle of it is clear.
The return is huge. So what the Pope is doing is using this to advance this, and I have been invited by the management to see how they can use this, again, support education, or help to raise money internally support education here, support sports, you know. So they start pulling away young people from the direction they're going to where they should go.
What's the nature of your connection with the foundation? Is it that
They just
the
invited
Scholars
me. They just invited
Foundation
me. What they have done was
will
invited
set up
me
in
to-
Nigeria?
Yes, they just invited me to see what they're doing, study it, and see how they can work, how I can mobilize people here. Because they don't work, they're not going to bring anybody from outside. They need some Nigerians who will come together and see what they're doing and be able to do the same thing, which will raise money and some other supports they can give us to be able to do it.
Is it a Christian, Catholic thing, or it's an open thing for
it's an
everybody?
open thing. Youth is youth. Then let me tell you, at the end of the day, it's this place that, you see, we've brought ourselves into so many problems in this country. Starting this Christian thing, starting this, we usually give, Ruben, we always give an example with Dubai. I don't use Dubai as my example because it's a small country with a low population. But let me tell you, Ruben, I'm a Catholic. Whenever I'm in Dubai, I go to the Catholic church and worship. The Catholic church in Dubai is built by the Emir of Dubai, who is a Muslim. It's there, it's written. And he comes there once a year or twice a year when they do their Jara thing. Ruben, I went to the best school, the best Catholic school in Njabode. I was there. They had the best result in WAEC. So I went to visit them.
Which school is this?
That's the King College. I went to visit them. Shocking, their land was given to them by the Muslim man that was there. We've destroyed this country with all this religion and all this